Welcome to my channel again. Today I'm taking conservation of forest and wildlife resources. In last episode I have told you our flora and fauna is under great stress and strain also because of insensitivity of our environment. Not only this, and our economic activities, human activities are also responsible for that. Number of the forests are decreasing, wildlife dwindling, and the wildlife, the meaning has been changed nowadays. Wildlife doesn't mean all the life in the forest is considered the wildlife. Now the range of the wildlife increases, even the insects, small bacteria, everything surrounding, whatever in the life in the forest, that is called the wildlife. Not only with the particular species, the wildlife now, one thing is there, that the wildlife population and the forest, which has become essential for ecosystem, for our balance, affecting our daily life, and it is under stress and strain. Forests are dwindling, becoming less, forest cover is decreasing, and the wildlife is dwindling, becoming less. For this, we have to save it. Saving the maintained and the maintaining and the growing wildlife is called the conservation of the wildlife. To save our life, wildlife means to save our ecosystem, to save our biodiversity. It will save our the life also. That's whatever there is. And not only this, that is saving our ecological diversity also, and it will save our life supporting system also. And the life supporting system is water, air, and soil. That's also being saved because of this conservation of this. Life supporting system, because our agriculture still depending upon the traditional crop varieties, and we are still depending of the water, air, and soil. To daily life system, everything is depending upon this. Previously we used to say, अगर वाइल्ड लाइफ के स्पीशीज कम होते जा रहे हैं, then what? What's the harm? अगर शेर, चीते, हाथी कम होते जा रहे हैं तो then what? क्या होगा? I have already told. That's a part of our ecosystem. अगर forests are becoming less, then what? और हो जाएंगे. They can regenerate themselves. But it's not. Our ecosystem which is being disturbed, and it is being disturbed heavily. Regeneration is so slowly. That's the only problem. So that is why conservation has been demanded, and the conservation has been started in 1960-70. A wildlife protection program has been started to save the wildlife, to save the forest, and to save the heritage also surrounding also, to protect it, to save it, to grow it, to maintain it. For this, But now the question arises, the one thing we have to first, we have to think that the problem is here. जब तक हम ये सोचेंगे नहीं कि क्या प्रॉब्लम हमारे सामने आ रही है, मैंने आपको बताया है कि हमारा जो नेचुरल फॉरेस्ट कवर है वो बहुत कम हो गया है. नाउ वर्ल्ड बॉडीज आर डिक्टेटिंग दैट एवरी नेशन शुड हैव at least 40% land under forest to save their economy, to save their development, to survive their economy, to survive their life, natural life. But this advice in India, the people often ask, how much land under forest is in India? That's merely 22%. Below minimum norms are required 40%. We are half of that. And the latest satellite survey shows, that almost not 22%, 18% in India land is under actual real forest. And it's a surprise for me to tell you, our states, Haryana, Punjab, the natural forest cover is the minimum in the world. 3.4% forest only. Now we realize the problem. To save the forest means to save the wildlife also. To save the wildlife means to save the natural heritage also. And to save the ecosystem, ecological balance also. That's essential for our survival. For this purpose, in 1960 to 1970, the conservationists demanded National Wildlife Protection Program. And that is called the Act, Indian Wildlife Protection Act. For this, various steps has been started to save the wildlife particularly. Because the number of the wild animals are becoming less and less. So many species are under danger, declared endangered. Endangered species of the wildlife means, it's very simple meaning, sometimes it is asked, the local species of that region which are about to finish, about to extinct, becoming less and less. Extinct species, the species which are not visible in the last few decades. It can show where we stand. Now these species are becoming less. Not only less, becoming extinct also. Sometime, some examples, endangered species. So many endangered species in India, Indian bustard, snow leopard, white elephants, so many species are there. The need is to save them. For this purpose, the first foremost step has been started, that is called national parks. At present, there are 16 national parks in India. National parks means the forest area, the reserve area, where hunting and poaching is not allowed. And the cutting of the forest is not at the reserve areas. To save the wildlife and to protect it and to grow it and to maintain it. That's the national parks. Now 40% areas in India is reserved under national parks, bird sanctuaries, biodiversity parks. So this is there. The foremost thing, that's the hunting and poaching, which is disturbing our wildlife. So many animals have, tigers particularly, numbers are decreasing, and that is why the second step, which has been very successful, that was taken under Project Tiger. I will tell you the story of the Project Tiger. Project Tiger, Project Rhinoceros, these are the second steps are started. To particular Project Tiger means to save and to grow and to develop the tiger, the breed of tigers. Particularly one animal. These steps are being taken to save our wildlife. But one thing which I have to mention, the number of the tigers are becoming so less. I have told you, in the beginning of the centuries, in 1900 only, there was 15,000 tigers in India. The number has dwindled up to 1,800 only when the Project Tiger has started to save them and to grab, to increase them also, to develop their breed also. These steps are particularly one news which attracted me more. You might have gone to Hindustan Times 2 or 3 months before. There was a news, the death of Supermom. I was also shocked by that news. I also condole that news. Who was that Supermom? She was no more else. She was a tigress. Tiger mom. Why she was called Supermom? In 25 years, it's her span of life, she has given birth to 29 tigers. That was the advantage. That was the gift from the Supermom. We are looking for such four moms, particularly in tigers. Now the tigers project remains successful and the number has almost become double of the tigers, which encourages us to start another project also. Not tiger rhinoceros is also there, tiger crocodile, Project Rhinoceros is also there, Project Crocodiles, other projects are being started. That's also to say, even bird sanctuaries are also, biodiversity parks also. That is more important, because in this not only the life is saved, along wildlife is also saved along with their surrounding heritage. That's essential. Otherwise, no use. So many species are being saved. Numbers are increasing. Land has been reserved. Results are there. But I'll give one more example. that this area, particularly surrounding Delhi, surrounding areas, this whole area surrounding Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, in 11th centuries, 10th, 11th centuries, where was Delhi? This area was considered Chital Pradesh, area of the cheetahs, areas of the cheetahs, where people, surrounding areas of the kings and nawabs, used to come over there to hunt cheetahs. But the last cheetah left India for good, 1958. Not only Chital Pradesh, whole of India become cheetah-less. Species has gone extinct of particular cheetah. You have gone through the news. Few months before, 13 cheetahs have been brought from the South Africa and left here in the forest areas, surrounding areas, reserve areas. But it's pity. Out of 13, 8 has been died. That is why I am saying it's essential to save their heritage and surrounding, particularly strain environments should be protected. Same environment should be provided. That's why the conservation will be successful. But the conservation is essential. Why? To save the forest means to save the wildlife. To save the wildlife means to save the biodiversity. To save the biodiversity means to save the ecosystem. To save the ecosystem is to save our economic development also, everything also. To save the ecosystem also. We wanted to keep our ecosystem survive. That is why conservation of the wildlife is important and the forest is important. And the foremost steps, cutting of the forest top, hunting of the animals should be stopped. Not only this, the environment should be saved. Human activities which are responsible for affecting the climatic condition and affecting the forest life and wildlife, that should be reduced. Sometimes you ask, which human activities are responsible for disturbing our biodiversity? That's also there. Our agriculture, hunting, urbanization, pollution, these are some human activities which are responsible for this. How to stop? That should be the part of our understand conservative steps should be taken. So that is why conservation is important. So these some points are given. You have to remember some meanings which I have told. And next time I will explain to you what type of the forest we are having, which we are seeing, and the species which we are going to see. Thank you.